We are again. I am going to be talking briefly about day 7. Day 7 would be the end of the first week of the challenge, or was the end of the first week of the 250K bodybuilding.com transformation challenge 2018. And it was okay. So that was Sunday, so that was yesterday. I did have my accessory workout, and my accessory workouts are starting to become longer or the same as my compound lifts. So I am definitely deep into the program now. Everything went really well. I am pushing myself. Like I said the other day, I have increased my numbers, so increasing my compound lifts. I have also increased my accessories. So, for example, with hammer curls, I used to only do like 10 pounds per hand. I have upped it to 15 pounds per hand, and that is actually going really, really well. When I have to do 15 of them, about 14 is a little sketchy. Like 14 and then like the 15th one, I could probably do 2 or 3 more, but I'm not sure. Kind of depends on the day, where I'm at with my pre-workout. If I took a pre-workout, because I usually don't take pre-workout on accessories, but I'm really starting to think I'm going to have to. But that's also how an RPE works. My accessories are RPE, so my hammer curls are supposed to be at an 8 RPE. And RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion, so how much energy you're going to have to put into doing something. Like an RPE 10 would be you can't do any more. And that doesn't necessarily mean your PR is a 10. It's just, say if you're supposed to do 10 reps of something at an RPE 10, it means that you can do the full 10 reps, but you cannot do an 11th rep. So if my hammer curls are supposed to be at like an RPE 8 and I could get to 15 and I could probably do 1 or 2, maybe 3 more, I'm about at an RPE 8, because that means you should be able to do like 2 to 3 more lifts to get to your 10. That's how I'm understanding RPE right now. That's how Matt's explained it to me. I'm still looking into it because it's still like a really weird concept just after working at percentages for so long. 2 years. It's weird to switch into a different mentality, but I understand how it works and I get the idea behind it. It's just really, really understanding it. So that was Sunday. As far as macros, I actually did really, really well. We did decide to go out to this local place called Craft Grill, and I did get a burger with fries. I did get the wheat bun, but I actually didn't do too bad because I had to work out, so I was okay with that, and I ate pretty early. I had a beer. Wasn't a big deal. I didn't really feel like it was a cheat. I felt like I was actually sticking to my macros outside of the carbohydrates. But I already had a plan for that, and it was because I knew I would be working out, so I knew I would need them. So by the time we finished eating lunch, we came back, and about 30 minutes to an hour later, I actually started working out with my accessories. If it had been a compound lift day, I would have waited at least 4 hours, just because I wear a belt when I do a lot of my compound lifts, and wearing a belt, you kind of have to brace. So your bracing is, you're just like, it's going to be weird to do, but with bracing, you're like breathing in from your stomach. So you're basically like having to go. So that's kind of, you brace, you push against the wall of your abs. So if you're wearing a belt, it just helps to support that. So when you go to brace and you push, you're pushing against a weight belt, which is also behind your back. So you're giving your back even more support by bracing. So your core is more stable, especially during like lifts that can cause your back to round or really hard on your back, mainly just like squat and deadlift. If you're benching a ton, you probably wear a belt, but it's for the same reason. You're wanting more support on your lower back. And since I wore a belt and I really do practice the bracing thing, if my stomach's too full, or even if like my lower intestines have food in them, bracing isn't comfortable. I mean, it's not comfortable in general, but it really isn't comfortable when you feel like you have food there, so you're trying to like push out and brace and brace and do all of that stuff, but you feel like there's something in the way. I mean, I feel like I lose my breath more quickly, as I'm like, I feel like I'm talking a lot, not breathing enough. So I get tired more quickly. I feel like I can't breathe as properly. I have to take my belt off completely, which is something I don't do. I just am able, like in between sets, I don't really take my belt off completely. I just kind of like unhook it a bit and leave it there. But on days where I've eaten recently and I go to lift, those aren't really the best days. So I do have to kind of do like a 4-hour fast spread. So 4 hours between my last meal until my first lift is what I try to go for. During the week, it can get a little, because I don't get off work. Well, I can't leave until 3. So, and I'm really, really busy. And the time when is the lunchtime, everyone wants my attention because that's lunchtime for teachers. And then when it's not lunchtime, they're teaching or they're in meetings. So then they still want me. So sometimes I don't really get to eat until about 2, which would put me working out at about 5 or even 6, and I don't like that. So I won't go any later than 4:30 with my warm-ups. So sometimes I just have to deal with it, and usually on days that maybe I wasn't able to eat until 2 or 3 and I have to work out at 4 or 4:30, I'm a bit, I don't want to say like I'm lazy or I take it easier. I make sure I'm getting enough time in between sets because I don't want to like get sick. I don't want to hate the session. So I try to make the session as enjoyable as possible, because that's one thing I hate doing is finishing a lifting session and you're like, man, that was shit. Like you felt like you wasted your time. So I try really hard not to feel like that after a lift. I'm not wasting my time and I don't want to feel like I'm wasting my time. So yeah, I usually try to wait 3 to 4 hours before working out. And the last time I ate, actually, I had a quick snack at about 2, and that was carbs and protein. And it was like yogurt with protein powder. So I'm okay with that. It's really easy. It's easy to digest. It was 0 fat, and that's another big thing. If I'm going to be eating closer to when I need to work out, I will try to avoid eating fat, unless it's coconut oil, because your body takes coconut oil differently than it takes fat, like other types of fats and oils. More about that later, I guess, because I've let that cat out of the bag. I do use coconut oil as pre-workout every once in a while. It's very, very specific on when I do it. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing it because I've just found my concoction, which I did post on Instagram. My Instagram is always in the description. But maybe I'll post a link to that specific Instagram post, because my pre-workout's awesome. So I'll leave a link below for it and talk about it a different day and like why I've chosen it and how it works and how much I love it. But yeah, as far as day 7 went, I feel like I ended the first week of the challenge in a really good light. I actually weighed in that morning at 159. My starting weight for this challenge was 162. So within a week of losing 2 pounds, and I feel like I've gotten leaner. Sorry, that's what that was. That was the little bit of, I flexed this arm too much. I need to start flexing this one more if you can't tell. Oh yeah, and I guess I should talk about what my injury was, because I've mentioned that I had an injury at some point, either in writing or I said it. But yeah. So, end of week of the challenge of week 1, 11 weeks left. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really, really good. So, we'll be back with day 7, probably ASAP. Just do a little bit of update. It's not over yet. But I'm going to go lift. I'm going to start getting this down, go get started warmed up, and catch you on the other day. Bye.